Dorothy, and I'm doing my book wrap up for July. It's August now. Crap. Time is going way too quickly. So, for July, I read 9 books in total, and I've been really good with my stash as well. Stash. I mean, I've been really good with my book buying, and not done much. So, as it currently stands, I am 87 books into my 150 book challenge, which is at 58%. I've read 2 books in the last couple of days, so I was at 85 at the end of July. So, I'll do haul first, because there's not many. There's 3. I've also won a book pack, so I have 5 books on their way, which I didn't pay for, and I have 3 books that I bought from Bookworld because they did a $5 Friday sale, and I picked up a George R. R. Martin book, The Ice Dragon, and 2 Stephen King books for $5 each. So 2 of these books I got off Book Mooch. Those are Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen, and A Straight Line to My Heart by Bill Condon. They just popped up on my feed, and I thought, yeah, why not? I've got points to spend, so. And the only book that I actually bought for this month was You're Making Me Hate You by Corey Taylor, which is his newest book. I haven't started to read it yet, though. So, and of course, there are pictures as well, so that's cool. So books that I read. First off, just kind of all over the place. The Gilded Crown by Catherine A. Wilson and Catherine T. Wilson. This is the 3rd book in the Lions and Lilies series. There's going to be a book 4, which I'm now back to the state of, oh god damn it, I don't want to wait. So, yes, I have a review on the 1st book in this series. It's really good. Like, I do love this series. It's nothing like what I usually read. And I say that it's a historical romance, but it's more like, it's not super focused on the romance. It's definitely a big aspect of it, but it's bad. This one's got a lot of stuff about spies and backstabbing and traitors to the crown and all sorts of stuff. It's really cool. And yeah, there's just so many twists. Absolutely love this series. So 5 out of 5 stars naturally. And then I read an ebook. Some of these are ebooks as well, so I don't have physical copies. Irresistible Ink by Renee Rose, which I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I just wanted something quick and easy to read. They're not, they're not fantastic books. They're not mind-blowing. They're just romance books around a tattoo shop. So, and I finished The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss, which of course got a 5 out of 5 stars because I absolutely love that story. I do love that series. I've got to read The Slow and Silent Regard of Things, I think is the latest release from that series. I've got to pick that up and do that. I read Turned by Morgan Rice, which is a vampire novel. It wasn't horrible, but it's just a lot of things that I've read before and a lot of sort of teen vampire fiction. It just wasn't anything spectacular. I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars. And then I read 4 books from the Percy Jackson series. So that's Sea of Monsters, which was a 3 out of 5. The Titan's Curse is the next one. Yep, which was a 4 out of 5. Battle of the Labyrinth was probably my favourite one. It's a 5 out of 5. And Last Olympian was 4 out of 5. So, I did enjoy the series. Sea of Monsters was kind of for me, but really liked the Battle of the Labyrinth. It's probably my favourite one out of the 5. So now I've just got to get a couple more of the other books and read the next part of the series. And the big book that I read was The Summer of Chasing Mermaids by Sarah Ockler. And this book was amazing. Like, straight up, best book that I read or it's actually a toss-up between Wise Man's Fear and Summer of Chasing Mermaids, but so good. This is a thing, and I saw everyone talking about it on Tumblr. I read it on Pulse-it. Pulse-it had it as a free book for the week, so I sat down and I was winding some cross-stitch threads, doing this whole thing, and decided to read it while I was doing that. And then I just put the threads down and just got straight into the book. Had to stop just past the halfway mark because that was about this point that I realised why I was relating so much to the main character. So the Summer of Chasing Mermaids is a YA book. The main character is not only a person of colour, but she is a person with a disability that she gains later in life, which was something that I found hugely relevant, even though completely different disabilities. She loses her voice, and I'm losing walking, so. But it was this point about midway where she gets a package in the mail, and it just sort of, the stuff that's in the package just brings back everything that happened in her accident and stuff like that. And that was when, it was basically in writing that her accident caused her to lose everything that she knew about herself. She essentially is now a new person, and she doesn't know who she is. And that hit a huge thing with me, because I was just like, holy shit, that is exactly what I'm going through. That's exactly what it is like. And reading through some of the reviews that other people have left for the book, and it's a lot of people saying, oh, I found her to be sort of whiny and a little bit self-pitying at the... I burped. A little bit, whiny and a bit too pity-filled at the beginning. I found it to be completely realistic. As someone who is getting a disability late in life, that is exactly it. That is exactly what it is like. I hate myself, I hate people, you lose friends, you lose family, you lose everything you knew about yourself. So I found it to be completely realistic. But yeah, main character, person of colour, person with a disability. All the characters have pretty realistic story arcs. They fight against misogyny and all this sort of stuff as well. If you hear noises, there's people moving into the place at the back, and they're doing the furniture and shit now. So, yeah, I don't know if that'll pick up. But, yeah, it was just a really good book. And, yeah, realistic characters, realistic supporting characters and stuff. So I got a 5 out of 5 stars. I started reading that at 2:30, and I put my cross-stitch stuff down at 3:30, and then just read through to 5 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, it was good, obviously. So, that's it for this book wrap-up. This month is shaping up to be a really busy month. Basically, with my TAFE schedule, I'm doing 2 group projects, and they're both to do with different festivals in my local area. And it's a nightmare. We're 3 weeks in to the planning stage, and I'm over it. So I don't imagine we're going to do a whole bunch of reading until the festivals and stuff are over. And I was kind of panicking a little bit because I was like, oh, I'm sort of behind in my reading challenge and stuff. And then I said, you know what? Last year I read 102 books for my reading challenge, and I beat what my reading challenge was. And actually, no, I didn't read that many. My reading challenge was... Actually, no. It was 100 for last year. Yeah. So it was 100 for last year. I read 102 books by the end of the year. And, I felt really good beating my challenge. But I'm looking at it now and I'm like, it's just started August. I'm 87 books into the year. I'm proud as shit of that, considering I'm studying again, I'm cross-stitching a whole bunch, I'm job hunting, I'm doing a whole bunch of other things. I'm proud as hell that I'm up to 87 books. So if I don't get to 150, I'm not going to be butthurt. I'm just going to be like, well, next year. I'll set it for 150 next year, and we'll do it again. So, yeah. I'm trying not to freak out too much about the whole reading challenge thing. So hopefully I get some reading done. Like, I'll probably just be reading slow. I'm trying to read Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides. I'm just finding it really hard to get into it, and I think because the narrator, like the writing style, makes the narrator seem a lot older than I suspect he is. Because my understanding was it's about a teenager in high school and stuff, and I'm having a hard time connecting the voice with the writing style, so I'm not quite getting into that. But failing that, I went to the library. Two books from the library to read: Dissonance by Erica O'Rourke, and this is a parallel reality sort of one. And then book two in the Teardrop Saga, Waterfall by Lauren Kate. So I read the first one and it wasn't horrible, it wasn't super great, but yeah, they had it there, and I didn't get any other books because I'm one of those library purists, and when I go to the library and there's people running around and making too much noise, I just get really angry and want to yell at everyone. But especially because my local library, they culled a lot of their collection, sent it to other branches, so that they could put in a Wii, so that kids could come in and play Wii. But it attracts all the school kids, and they'll sit there and they'll play guitar in the library, and they'll run around the library. I've had people playing tips in the library. I've seen people come into this library with KFC meals and sit and eat KFC over the books. I can't deal with it. But when I went in the library the other day, there were these kids there and they were going on, oh, fucking green hair, you don't fucking stand out enough, blah, 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 blah. You should just be fucking ashamed, like, nobody wants to fucking see that and stuff. And because I guess my shirt was rolled up a little bit at the back, because I was in the wheelchair, when you're rolling in the wheelchair, sometimes your shirt rides up. Like, it fucking happens, I pull it down when I can, but sometimes I don't realise. And it's like, you're the other, like, it's a little sliver of skin at the back. But, yeah, they were making comments about it and stuff, and I was gonna lose my shit. But because they're minors, I can't, so it just shits me. But, yes, that's it for this month, and I'll see you guys later. And button.